say, where the person seeking nomination as a candidate, where the person seeks nomination as a candidate supporting the nomination. Each supporter shall state in the nomination paper his or her village, occupation, and a personal voter registration number. A statement on oath shall state that the person seeking nomination is a citizen of Uganda and is 18 years of age or above. And the person named in the nomination paper as seeking nomination consents to the nomination and is not disqualified to stand as a candidate under any law in force. Where a person is sponsored by a political party or political organization, the nomination paper shall indicate that he or she is so sponsored, stating the name and address of the political organization or political party. Let me take this juncture to appeal to political parties to streamline their internal processes, because what we have observed in these ongoing petitions from local government nominations is a disconnect or uncoordination in the political party's hierarchy, where, for instance, the registrar, the party registrar in a district, the district party registrar endorses the nomination paper of a candidate or someone, an aspirant, and the person proceeds for nomination and is duly nominated. Then the following day, the Secretary General of the party communicates to the commission saying, no, the person who was endorsed is not the rightful candidate, or not the rightful flag bearer. The correct flag bearer is X. Have him or her nominated. Hey. So some of these people have been going. Our returning officer says, but we've already nominated someone. Then this other aspirant who is recognized by the party to be the official or the correct flag bearer says, I don't want to take chances and the period runs out for nomination. Let me now get nominated as an independent candidate in the meanwhile, as a waiting posture. So the person gets nominated as an independent candidate, waiting for clearance to get the flag from the other person. But the law does not work like that. So we have so many of those cases. So political parties, I want to appeal to you, please identify your rightful or correct flag bearer appropriately through your own channels or systems. Because we cannot nominate someone and then you say for you who was nominated as independent, now you are a flag bearer. No. Once you are nominated as an independent, you remain independent. And you go for elections like that. So I want to take this opportunity to appeal to the political parties to streamline their internal processes of identifying their flag bearers. The nomination for parliamentary aspirants shall be accompanied by proof of payment of a nomination fee of 3 million shillings only, which shall be paid to the Uganda government through any bank which collects, the Uganda Revenue Authority, through any bank which collects non-tax revenue. Please do not move with that cash to the returning officer or to the nomination venue. We don't receive nomination fees or nomination charges as a commission. We only receive proof of payment of the nomination fees in the designated bank. I want to emphasize the above nomination fee must be paid through the URA online system and authorized banks, following the procedure outlined in the EC guidelines, which are available at our website, www.ec.or.ug, and are also provided on the nomination form. Payments should not be made to the district or city administration accounts. You know, for local government, the payments were being made to the city or district local government accounts. That is for local government nominations. But for parliamentary, don't effect the payments to these people of local government. Please pay to the designated banks. Aspirants who have already paid the nomination fees no longer need to come to the Electoral Commission headquarters in Kampala for verification of their payment. That was the system. That after you have paid, then you do come here, we verify your payment, and issue you the whatever it is. Now we have said, no, you cannot ask people who have paid, say, for example, from Moroto, or from Arua, or from Kisoro, you come to the East headquarters, pick the confirmation, then go for nomination. So we have eased that process, and we are saying that the aspirants only need to present their bank payment slips to the respective district returning officers who will verify the payment with the Electoral Commission. So if the bank has issued you a bank payment slip, go with that for nomination, you hand it in, and it will be verified. I only hope nobody will attempt to present a forged bank slip, because we shall ascertain, verify that, and ask police to investigate. Then also denominate you, simple, because you have failed to meet a cardinal requirement for nomination. The nomination paper of every candidate shall be accompanied by 2 postcard-sized copies of the candidate's own recent straight-face color photograph. And I think these are the photos which are supposed to be used on the ballot paper, not so. The photos you are going to present at nomination is what the commission will use to print the ballot paper and put you on the ballot paper. So please bring us a clear photo, not one which is why you putting on a kanzu and so on. Put on, I think the description is given for how that photo should look like. Then a person going for nomination, under the law, you are permitted to have 2 vehicles approaching the nomination venue, and each vehicle not having more than 10 occupants. And the vehicle should also bear a police sticker or police stickers so that you can access the nomination venue. Aspirants will also be required to present certified copies of educational qualifications, confirming that they obtained a minimum formal education of advanced level or its equivalent. If you don't have a direct L-level certificate obtained in Uganda, but you have a certificate or certificates which in your view are equivalent to A-level, you are supposed to take them, to have taken them already to National Council for Higher Education. National Council for Higher Education is supposed to ratify them or certify them that they are equivalent to A-level. And then you present that certificate of equivalence at the time of nomination. If you obtained, if you have a degree, a degree which is above A-level, you qualify for nomination. Because some people seem to think that the requirement is that you must have A-level, period. No. The law says a minimum level of A-level standard. But if you have a degree, it's above. So you don't have to present the A-level certificate if you have a degree. If you have a degree obtained outside Uganda, you should have taken it by now to National Council for Education for certification. If you have A-level obtained outside Uganda, you should have taken it to National Council for Education for certification that is equivalent to our A-level in Uganda here. So a certificate from the National Council for Higher Education in cases where such academic qualifications are the equivalent of advanced A-level or obtained outside of Uganda should have been submitted by now. Actually, the law says you should have submitted 2 months to nomination. Further, aspirants will be required for civil servants who intend to contest. You are required to present evidence or proof of resignation in the case of public. Already we are getting petitions. Can you believe it? Even before we have had nominations for parliament, some people are already petitioning. Biabakama is going to contest as a member of parliament. He has not resigned. People are so vigilant these days. So and so, I already have petitions in my office. So and so wants to contest, but he has not resigned. Don't allow him. So we are saying, Kakana, Linda ko, you wait. Maybe the person will not turn up for nomination. It's only, we only receive petitions post-nomination. So let's wait and see what will happen. Then nomination of, as I've mentioned in my opening remarks, we also have nominations for SIGs, special interest groups. Those who are going to be elected to parliament representing the various special interest groups. The nomination of candidates for election of members of parliament representing the following special interest groups will be conducted during the said period, that is to say 22nd and 23rd October, Wednesday and Thursday, 2025. Once again, these are representatives of older persons to parliament. I've already given the number of vacancies or positions. Representatives of persons with disabilities, representatives of workers, representatives of the youth. To all these are members of parliament. Please note that the nomination of candidates for election of representatives of the 5th special interest group, which I have not highlighted here, and that is the Uganda People's Defense Forces, will be conducted at a later date. It is not part of tomorrow and Thursday's proceedings, no. And it will be done in accordance with the provisions of Section 9 of the Parliamentary Elections Act. We shall notify that constituency when we get to the period for their elections. The nominations for the above 4 special interest groups categories which I've highlighted shall be conducted at the Electoral Commission headquarters here. For the special interest groups nominations, they will take place here. If I'm not mistaken, I think this arrangement is what is going to be used for those nominations. And shall begin at 9 a.m. and end at 5 p.m. on each of the appointed dates. An aspiring candidate for member of parliament representing a special interest group shall be a citizen of Uganda and a registered voter, and will be required to fulfill all the requirements for nomination as outlined in the guidelines issued by the Electoral Commission for each of those special interest group, that is older persons, persons with disabilities, workers, and the youth. The Electoral Commission calls upon all stakeholders in the electoral process to take note of the above dates and to ensure compliance with the nomination requirements and procedures. The nomination forms and guidelines will be available at all city or district electoral commission offices across the country, or can be downloaded from the Commission's website, www.ec.or.ug. The Commission appreciates aspirants who have submitted their nomination documents in advance to the respective city or district returning officers for verification. Stakeholders are urged to strictly follow the prescribed payment procedure to ensure a smooth nomination process and avoid any inconveniences. Similarly, the Commission reiterates our commitment to ensure that the nomination exercise is conducted with the utmost integrity, transparency, and the highest level of professionalism. I wish to emphasize the following. Aspiring candidates will be required to submit all the requisite documents for verification on nomination day. The Commission will, after scrutiny and satisfaction that the requirements have been fulfilled, declare the aspirant duly nominated. Secondly, upon successful nomination, candidates who wish to meet with their supporters to launch their manifestos are advised to organize and conduct such meetings in full compliance with the traffic regulations and laws governing public assemblies. Please, want to appeal to all the MP aspirants or those who have succeeded in getting nominated. Let us follow the law. Let us abide by the law, the traffic regulations. Let us be mindful of the right of other road users so that we avoid disruption of other users who are going about their normal activities using the same routes. Just drive with your two vehicles to the nomination venue, and that is it. Thereafter, you can go to an pre-arranged venue and meet your supporters and greet them and roll out your manifesto. You are not doing it on the road. You are not doing it to buildings. You are not doing it to vehicles passing by. So please, let's conduct ourselves. You saw how the presidential candidates did it. So MPs, please also follow the same process. And the Uganda Police Force will be at hand to guide you, to control you if you are getting out of order, and make sure that the whole process is peaceful and tranquil. So let us all have that sense of respect for other road users. And mind you, parliamentary candidates, whereas tomorrow you are at liberty to meet with your supporters at any designated venue of your choice, campaigns will not commence until 10th of November. Campaigns officially begin for MPs, for local government elections on 10th of November. Tomorrow is just greeting the people. So please don't embark on the campaign program or schedule when the time is not yet due. Let us all be law-abiding citizens. You saw the presidential candidates. After their nomination, they went and met their people. They sat down and harmonized the campaign programs. Then they hit the campaign trail. So even for you, members of parliamentary candidates, you're also required to harmonize your campaign programs or schedules before the returning officers. So use this period between after nominations to 10th to harmonize your campaign schedules. So please, let us all follow the guidelines and the law in particular. Further, upon conclusion of the nomination exercise, the respective city or district returning officer will meet all the nominated candidates from the 24th to the 27th October in their electoral districts for purposes of harmonizing their campaign programs, after which candidates' campaigns will commence on 10th of November 2025 and run until 12th January 2026. So just emphasizing what I've already mentioned. As stated above, now the other issue maybe I should talk about is presidential elections. As you are all aware, the presidential candidates were nominated and they officially commenced campaigns on the 29th of September. I think this should be the third week. On behalf of the Commission, I'd like to commend the presidential candidates. The exercise is moving on relatively, generally, smoothly, to the bemusement of some people. Until some people asking, said, it's like there are no campaigns, things are moving on smoothly. Tetunalabayo katia gasi, Nga bitambula bulungi, Chairman. I want to commend the presidential candidates, their supporters, and the people of Uganda in general, and the security agencies, law enforcement agencies and security agencies in general, so far for ensuring to portray an image of a country that can manage its affairs, and we do them very well. To me, that is a positive. That we can do these things, we can manage our affairs very well in a civil, lawful, respectful manner. Although there are some people, who had started, tebabulamu, they had started, we said no processions, but they were moving massively with processions. We called for a meeting here of agents of presidential candidates together with the Uganda Police Force, law enforcement agencies, and we raised these issues, and I think we are soon going to have another one. Agents, I'm glad you are here. We should now have a review of how things are moving on now. I think these interactions are very important, and we are going to utilize them. We also continue to have engagements to law enforcement and other entities of government. We want to ensure that our country remains stable, peaceful, tranquil, and enjoyable for all of us. So the presidential campaigns are going on. Under the law, once nominations are concluded for presidential candidates, then the Electoral Commission shall establish or declare the polling day. So in light of that provision, the Commission wishes to inform the people of Uganda and the presidential candidates that presidential polling will take place on the 15th of January, 2026. 15th of January, 2026, that's when polling will take place. Okay? Now, what that means, therefore, the law, in line with the law, because the law says that campaigns shall cease or stop, presidential campaigns, or campaigns for that matter generally, shall stop 24 hours, no, 48 hours. 48 hours? 48 hours prior to polling. 48 hours before polling day. Since we have set the 15th January as polling day, I think for all elections, it means the 48 hours will lapse on the 13th, or will start to run from 13th of January, which therefore means that the campaigns for all elective positions we run up to 13th of January, not 12th. Because we could not tell the exact date because we had not yet set the date for polling. But now that we have set the date for polling as 15th, the campaigns will therefore officially end on the 13th of January 2026. We want all the candidates to take note. This is not only applicable to presidential candidates, that also applies to all elective positions, local government and parliamentary. So presidential candidates are at liberty to make the necessary adjustments in line with the polling day. Adjustments in their campaign programs or schedules in line with the polling day. Once again, want to appeal to all stakeholders, all those candidates and their supporters, and all entities and individuals who have a role to play in this election, in these elections. Let us abide by the law. Let us maintain the peace and stability that we see playing out now. Let us avoid any situation or scenario that disrupts the normal day-to-day activities of other Ugandans. Let us avoid to use language that is sectarian, that is incendiary, that is insightful, that it promotes hatred other than unity. Because remember, Uganda shall forever be with or without elections. We have unfortunately started receiving reports of some nominated candidates in the local government structures who have since passed on after nomination. Following conclusion of nominations for local government council elections on 24th September this year, the Commission has received several correspondences from the different returning officers reporting death of nominated candidates. Section 44 of the Parliamentary Elections Act states that where a candidate dies after nomination but before polling day, the Commission shall fix fresh nomination days. This Section 44 Parliamentary Elections Act is also applicable to the Local Governments Act via Section 189 of the Local Governments Act. Further, the same section states that where fresh nomination dates are fixed, the candidates previously nominated shall not be nominated again. When we fix fresh dates for nominations in those areas where the candidates have passed on, those who are still alive, having been newly nominated, will not have to get re-nominated or get nominated afresh. It is only to fill that slot which has been left by the dead candidate. So we are proposing to have these nominations, fresh nominations conducted on the 27th and 28th of October as dates for fresh nominations. Since it's not a countrywide problem, it is in a few specific areas. We shall get in touch with those areas where we are going to conduct those fresh nominations. As stated above, polling for parliamentary elections, that is directly elected member of parliament, and this woman representative of parliament, will take place on the same day. Since presidential and parliamentary elections take place on the same day, it means therefore that parliamentary elections also take place on the 15th of January. In line with Article 61, Clause 2 of the Constitution, the Commission will appoint and publicize the various dates on which the delegates' conferences will be held for purposes of election of representatives or special interest groups, that is older persons, persons with disabilities, workers, youth, and UPDF. We shall be appointing specific dates for these delegates' conferences. In conclusion, the Commission calls on all participants, agents, supporters, and the general public to uphold the values of peace, dignity, and mutual respect throughout the nomination processes and the upcoming campaign periods for peaceful elections in our countries. Please, once again, parliamentary candidates, we don't want to see some of the episodes that played out during your party primaries. Let us remain civil. Let us remain law-abiding. And I believe we shall have a very successful nomination and campaigning process. Then, once again, the use of money to influence voters during campaigns or after nominations is prohibited under the law. No candidate, once you have been nominated, is allowed or permitted to use money to influence voters. That is an electoral or a criminal offense. This is not even dignified with the electoral offense. It's a criminal offense to bribe voters. We have said before, through you, the media, that fundraisings in places of worship in our communities should be put on hold until after the electoral processes, so that we do not provide an avenue for candidates to begin to use money to influence voters. Those projects can hold on. We have on how many months? Is it about 3 months to go? Those projects can hold on until we are done with these elections. So please, we want to appeal to all candidates, presidential, parliamentary, local government. Do not use money to influence voters. Do not give out to halls. Do not give out to sewing machines. All these things, they are prohibited under the law. However, you are at liberty to fundraise money to fund your campaign. That's permitted under the law. You are at liberty as a candidate to fund your agents. Those are going to do the work for you during campaign. Those ones you can give them money. But not for influencing voters. That's not permitted. If we can observe the law, if we can have our country at heart, then I'm sure we are going to have a very successful electoral process in all areas. I want to thank you for listening to me. Basebo ne banyabo abamawulira bali wano njagala okubebaza namwe ba representatives oba ba agents ba abesimbyewo ku bwa president mwebale kujja mu lukungano lw'abamawulire. Olwaleero tutaddewo olukungana luno okutegeeza eggwanga biki ebigenda mu maaso okusinziira ku pulogulaamu yaffe y'okulonda kwa bonna ogenda kubeera mu mwaka gwa 2016. Nga bwe bumanyi waliwo ebitugenze nga tukola nga bitambula bulungi. Gye twogerera kati twamaze okusunsulamu abagenda kwesimbawo ku bifo bya gavumenti z'ebitundu, era kati tuli mu kuwuliriza okwemulugunya okuvudde mu kusunsulwamu okwo. Waliwo abawakanya nti gundi tiyandibadde asunsulwamu, tibandibadde bamukwasa ebendera y'ekibiina mu bukyamu. Kati ezo ensonga zetuwuliriza kati era twakafuna ndowooza kwemulugunya kulinga mu 200 emisango oba kwemulugunya 200 okuva mu bitundu ebitali bimu ebyeggwanga. Era nge n'akakiiko tubadde tutuula wano olunaku lwonna luse nga tuvaawo kiro nnyo saawa nnya z'ekiro saawa 5 nga tugezaako okuliza ensonga ezo kubanga tulina ozimaliriza mu bwangu, kubanga ekiddirira kati kyenyerabidde okwogera mu luzungu nga tumaze ngeri gye tumaze kati okusunsulamu abagenda kwesimba mu bifo byonna ebitali ebyenjawulo. Kati tugenda tuteekateeka okukuba obululu, kwegamba oyo yenna amaze okusunsulwamu nga tawakanyiziddwa oranga awakanyiziddwa naye ng'ensonga zitugitunuliddemu ne tugamba nti oba temulimu nsonga yonna nkulu, kati ekisigadde okuba obululu. Naye kati enkya olunaku lw'enkya n'olwokuna tugenda kusunsulamu abagenda kwesimbawo ku bifo bya bwa parliament mu districts. Buli district yonna abaofisa baffe ba returning officer beetegese okola omulimu gw'okusunsulamu abagenda kwesimbawo ku bifo ebyo. Ate mujjukire nti mu kaseera ke kamu tulina okusunsula abagenda kwesimbawo ku bifo abagenda kukiikirira mu parliament abatuyita ba special interest groups, abo abaliko obulema, abantu abakulu oba abakadde, abakozi n'abavubuka. Abo bonna nayo kusunsulamu kwabwe kugenda kubeera wano kakiiko wano wetuyimiridde wano kugenda kutandika olunaku lw'enkya kukomekerezeddwe ng'ennaku 23. Abo bagenda kusunsulamu ku bwa parliament waliwo amateeka ge beetaaga okwakkuliza obumwenda okutuukiriza. Olina kubeera n'empapula zo nga kuliko amannya g'abantu 10 abawaggira okwesimbawo ku nomination yo, nga naye ng'abantu abo nga balonzi mu constituency y'ogenda kwesimbawo. Olina okusasula essente obukadde 3 naye tozireeta mu kakiiko k'ebyokulonda. oba ku officer baffe mu districts olina ozisasula mu banka ezikolagana na Uganda Revenue Authority.